Good evening, everyone. My name is Damon Garrett. I am the president of Metro Consulting Associates and the Highland Park Water Director. And so, first, I'd like to thank everyone for taking a little bit of time this evening to join us to discuss lead service line replacement. Um, just want to tell you a couple things here. So what I'm do is a little brief intro, maybe cover some of the history of lead service line replacement in Highland Park. Do a little housekeeping, and I'll hand it off to Elin. So we've been replacing lead service lines in Highland Park since 2018. And one of the things that we wanted to continue to do was improve our public engagement. And we've replaced about 750 lead service lines since 2018, but we really haven't got to. Oh my
Hey Damon,
God.
you got muted.
Oh my goodness. That was okay. Good. Okay. Let's take two. That was mute. So
It.
oh my goodness. So I'm sorry, I'll run that back. So good evening, everyone. My name is Damon Garrett. I'm the president of Metro Consulting Associates and the Highland Park Water Director. So I'd like to take a moment to thank everyone for taking a little bit of time out of their evening to join us to talk about lead service lines. And one of the things we've been replacing lead service lines in Highland Park since 2018. And one of the things that we want to continue to do was improve on our community engagement. So we've had several town halls over the years covering a multitude of topics, but we really haven't focused on lead service lines. So this evening, today, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to share just some history about what we've been doing since 2018. I'm going to go over a couple of housekeeping items, and I'm going to hand it over to Elin. So, just to kind of set the stage for those on the call, there's approximately about 3,500 lead service lines in Highland Park. As I just said, we've done about 750 since 2018. So that leaves us with roughly 2,800 service lines to go. So this project that we're currently doing constructing right now has 1,000 lead service lines associated with that. So if you look at what we've done in the past 7 years and what we're about to do in the next year, that'll take us to about 50% of the lead service lines being replaced in Highland Park, which is that's amazing. That's a large number. But obviously, with the project this large, we wanted to make sure that we heard from the people, do our best to answer questions, and share what information we have. Um, so our goal is to replace those remaining 1,700 lead service lines by 2041, which we're required to do by statute. We're hoping that will be done much sooner, as we have some other legal obligations to replace all of the water main in Highland Park by 2031-ish. So we're hoping, if funding allows, that we'll be able to get the distribution line replaced, and we'll be able to finish well ahead of the 2041 deadline. So, so what we were doing before this year was about 107 lead service lines a year. But after this project's complete, that average will go up to 218. So those are some robust numbers for Highland Park, and I just wanted to share those. So my housekeeping items are, I know there's a lot of people, there's always a lot of water things to discuss, but for our time, so that we're efficient tonight, to keep all the questions to lead service lines. We will be having not a water, but the city will be having a town hall at the rec center on November 20th at 7 p.m. over on Pitkin from 7 to 8:30. So if there's other things that you want to discuss, which I know there will be, you can bring those questions to that event, and we'll do our best to answer them there. The only other housekeeping item I had was to try to keep us on task and stay organized, is if you could please get those comments in the chat. It would be greatly appreciated. And myself and one of our other team members are going to be monitoring that. And our goal is to kind of compile those comments and be able to answer them with the appropriate people, whether it's myself, Ken, Elin, or any other members of the team. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, Elin.
Thank you very much, Damon. I'm Elin Betanzo, and I am the president of Safe Water Engineering. I assist the City of Highland Park with Safe Drinking Water Act compliance and helping out with the lead service line replacement program. We are recording this conversation today, and so we will post it on the city's YouTube channel, and the link will also go up on the Water Department website. The slides that we're going to use today will also be available on the Water Department website. And if you want to get a copy, you'll have an opportunity to request that at the end of the meeting today, and we can email that directly to you. And we also request that you remain on mute for the presentation portion of this, and then you can come off mute for some discussion when we get to the question and answer section. So as Damon said, put those questions in the chat as we go, as you think of them, because that'll help us. Okay, so I am going to introduce the members of the team that you'll see here at our meeting today and that you'll see working on this in your neighborhoods. So as the slide comes up there, there we go. Did that work? The slide just disappeared again.
Well, why don't we start with
Oh, maybe I
just
have the view wrong. Just no. Sorry. Okay. Well, um, if you can figure out the slides, I'll keep going. So today you've already met Damon. We're going to have Ken, who is the field operations manager, is also going to be presenting. And we have the work department supporting us here as facilitators, and they have developed all the outreach materials for the lead service line replacement program. So we have Fatima, Libby, and Denise supporting us today. So then on the next slide, we have the faces of the folks that are working in the neighborhoods. They are going to be the people on your street, sometimes in your house when you're getting a lead service line replaced. So we have Winston, Ken, Eugene, and Kobe, and they are all with the Highland Park Water Department. And Eddie is with the contractor that is doing the construction. So Eddie has been knocking on a lot of doors, scheduling appointments for lead service line replacement. So you might see his face as well. But Winston, Ken, Eugene, and Kobe are the people who are going to be most frequently on your street and in your neighborhood. We have some more supporting folks on the next slide. We have Derek, Doug, Jordan, and Jaden who are also supporting the program. So these are also faces that you might see in your neighborhood when lead service line replacement is happening. Okay, so let's talk about lead service line replacement. It kind of starts off with what is a service line? So we have water mains that run down the streets. They pretty much follow the grid pattern of all of the streets in Highland Park. And we've got water mains that are taking large quantities of water, but then we need a small pipe to connect that water main to individual homes, individual buildings. So what we service line in Highland Park, because of when Highland Park was built, most of them are made of lead. Um, the service lines, we are in the process of replacing all the water mains in Highland Park, and as Damon said, we have new requirements to replace all of those lead service lines in the city of Highland Park. Lead is a potent neurotoxin that can cause learning and behavior problems in children. It has reproductive and developmental health effects. And lead has also been associated with heart disease, high blood pressure, and kidney problems in adults. So we want to get the lead out of the drinking water. It will make the water safer for everybody. So that's a really important project for Highland Park. And you're probably wondering, do you have a lead service line at your own home? We do have an inventory that we have published on the website. And so we're navigating to it right here. This is the Highland Park Lead Service Line Replacement Program website. And if you scroll down on this page, we can find the inventory that's posted. There is a map here of Highland Park, and it'll come up, and we see a series of red lines and blue lines in here. And you can see in the chat, Libby dropped the URLs, so you can click on that and you can navigate this on your own while you're here for this meeting. But the red lines that you see on this are where there's lead service lines, and the blue lines are places where a lead service line has already been replaced, or we have confirmed that a non-lead material is at that location. So then to show you how you can use this yourself, there's a search bar you can see here. And we're going to type in an address. Let's type in 12050 Woodward Avenue. That's the municipal building there. And so you can see the address pops up, it zooms in, and then you can see that parcel. And then there is that line that's coming from the street to that building. So we see it's a red line here. So we're anticipating that there's a lead service line there at the municipal building. So this is how you can use the inventory to see if you have a lead service line at your home. You can share the site with your friends and your neighbors, and so they can search up their sites. Uh, and so then, obviously, the next thing is how do we get rid of that lead service line? So going back to the slides here. I'm going to hand it over to Ken to walk through the process of what you can expect when your lead service line is being replaced.
Good evening. I hope everyone is having a wonderful evening. My name is Kenneth Miller. I'm with Metro Consulting Associates. I am the operations manager of Highland Park, the Highland Park Water Department. So let's get right into the meat of the discussion, because I'm sure many of you are wondering what you can expect to happen when the lead service line is replaced. So I have a grouping of slides that will help you understand that a little better. Before the lead service line is replaced, the contractor will knock on your door to schedule an appointment, or our customer service staff will be calling you for an appointment. Their number is 313-865-1876. We invite you to give them a call if you would like more information or if you'd like to schedule. 313-865-1876. Then the inspector will provide a 6-month supply of certified lead-reducing water filters. We are asking you, as the resident, to sign a service line replacement agreement. This is very important for tracking purposes, as well as it is the law. Also, before the lead service line replacement, we're going to ask you to make sure that there is a clear path to the water meter in your basement or crawl space. Very important. We don't want to disturb any of your items, so we would like for you to move them. Also, we were going to ask that you move items out of your yard that may get damaged during our construction. And also, please arrange for an adult, someone 18 or older, to be at the home during the entire appointment. The appointment is about 4 hours. During the lead service line replacement, there are several things that we want to make sure you know. The contractor will turn off the water before the construction begins on the day of the appointment. So what I normally ask is that you fill a bathtub full of water or several buckets for toilet flushing and the like. The contractor will dig a 3-foot by 3-foot square in front of your yard to determine the service line material. Well, what will we find? Well, we will find either that your service line is copper or plastic, lead or galvanized. If it is copper or plastic, your service line will be connected to the new water main and your property will be restored. If we find that your service is lead or galvanized steel, we will replace that lead or galvanized steel line and your property will be restored. Also, during the service line replacement, the Highland Park Water Department inspector will flush water through the household plumbing to remove any particles that may have released during the construction. This is very important. Please allow us to do the flushing, or the inspector will provide flushing instructions for you to complete the steps yourself. We would much rather do the flushing. Please allow us to do so. The inspector, though, will provide written notification that the new service line was put in. Please sign. This is also for tracking purposes, and it is also the law. The contractor will restore water service to your home the same day that we turn it off. Let me go through the flushing instructions, though, while we're here together. It's important to flush the plumbing after the lead service line is replaced. Uh, First, what we would like to do is have you, the homeowner, remove the aerators from all faucets in your home. Then allow open all cold water taps in the house, starting at the lowest level of your home, perhaps the basement or crawl space. Continue opening the cold water taps throughout the house, opening the highest or furthest faucet last. You will let the water run for 30 minutes to flush any sediment or particles. Turn off each tap, starting with the first faucet you opened, perhaps at the basement or crawl space, finishing at the top floor. You will brush and rinse all the aerators before you screw them back on. Do not flush at taps where aerators cannot be removed. Why are we saying that? Well, there are some findings. A Water Research Foundation study from 2021 looked at the lead levels before and after flushing. Lead levels were up 6 parts per billion, ppb, while the lead line was still in place, similar, but a little higher than Highland Park levels. After replacing the line, lead spiked in these testings to 79 parts per billion. Removing the aerators and flushing the pipes brought lead levels down to 2 parts per billion, to under 2 parts per billion. Within 2 months, lead levels dropped to non-detectable, and that's what we want. No level of lead is acceptable. Let's talk about after the replacement. The Highland Park Water Department will notify you when the construction is complete. This action sets the 1-year guarantee. The 1-year warranty will start at that point. Restoration will begin when construction is complete in the construction zone and be completed ASAP, weather permitting. Sometimes we get pretty decent weather for doing restoration in the months of December and maybe even January, but that is not a guarantee. The restoration will include seeding and mulching, landscaping disturbed areas where we had to dig during the service line replacement. Replacing disturbed pavement with similar surfaces according to the engineering standards. So, for example, if we had to dig in the street and there was asphalt street, we would try our very best to put back asphalt streets. Replacing damaged flowers, shrubs, and trees of any kind. After our lead service line replacement, also the Highland Park Water Department will notify you when the restoration is complete. After 1 year, you will be responsible for the replaced water service line from the curb stop to your home. Well, what is a curb stop? The curb stop is the little control valve that you see people stick a key in at your property line. From that point to the water main, you will be responsible. No, from that point to the home, you will be responsible. From that point to the home. Now, the question may be asked, when will my service line be replaced? Some of you have all this process has already begun, but you've been invited to this meeting because Highland Park is replacing lead service lines within your neighborhood. What we have done here is provided a map that will show you the project areas that are coming very soon or are taking place right now. This information will be shared so that you may view it later on. I'd like to, before I turn it back over to another presenter, uh, I would like to talk to you about why you should participate in this program. There are 3 reasons in particular. It removes the biggest source of lead in your drinking water, lead contamination. Also, it avoids a $10,000 expense and keep your water on. And the third and most important reason, it will allow us to partner with you to work together for a safer Highland Park. Now I'd like to turn it back over to one of the other presenters.
Thank you, Ken. That was really helpful. Elin, did you have the polls? Are we going to do the polls? Yeah. Okay. So if everyone, we're going to run a little Zoom poll really quickly. If you see that pop up on your screen, it'd be great if you could answer that, just kind of understanding who's in the room and how much work has been done on y'all's property already. So we'll give that a few minutes. I see some questions in the chat, so please continue with those. We're going to move to that in 1 second. And after we do the things in the chat, I'll open it up for voice questions for anyone that's on the phone or maybe doesn't have access to that chat, but we'll do those chat ones first.
Libby, do we have the raise your hand for those for the voice or no?
I believe we do. So if anybody, has a question that's on the phone, try to raise your hand, and I will watch out for that. There's a lot of people on the phone, so we'll try to facilitate that after we answer these ones in the chat. All right, should we keep that open? Or there's the results there.
All right. So we've got the majority of people who responded have not yet had their lead service line replaced, but we've got some 1 yes and 2 I'm currently in the process. And then have you received a certified lead reducing water filter? We have 1 yes and the majority no's. So is everybody able to see those poll results? Are you able to see those, Libby?
Yep.
Great.
Thank you. All right, well, I'm going to start at the top. We'll just go in order of the questions that were asked. I have a couple for construction, so that might be you, Ken. Will all the line replacement be done outside, or is there going to be digging in our basements?
Most of the service line has to be replaced outside, but there will be some digging in basements to complete the process and put in the new water meter.
Great, thank you. Also, we have a question about the aerators, and assuming that a lot of people might not know what an aerator is or how to remove their aerator when we're talking about that very important flushing process. Will there be people on site that can show folks about the aerators and how to remove them and assist with that?
Yes, there will be an inspector for every lead service line replacement. So if you have trouble understanding what an aerator is, our inspector will help you do so. We will show you where the aerators are in your home faucets, and we'll ask you then to remove them. Yes.
Great. Then we have a couple comments and kind of questions. Thank you for attempting to be transparent. You mentioned the website so casually as if it was common knowledge. Maybe it had been shared widely. So now folks are glad to have that URL. I'll put it back in the chat again. And then we'll have a little place at the end of this call where you can put your email in. And we'll send you a copy of these slides so you'll have all of the URLs that were in these slides as well. But maybe, Elin, you could answer this one. These slides will be important to share, but also handouts or printed materials to reference. Will there be any of those available for residents?
Yes, so there are printed materials that are being delivered for every home, every time, every place where there's going to be a lead service line replacement on this project. Those materials are being delivered directly to that home. We also will have some at the customer service center for people to pick up copies if they're not on the current project. And we do also plan to have some future community meetings in person where we'll have copies of those available.
Thank you. All right, so when those three important points that we said, these are the most important things about this program, and we mentioned the $10,000 expense, we have a question around what is that $10,000 expense? Define this, please.
Well, we, as well as the contractor, do a awesome job in trying to contact everyone on the block when we are replacing lead water services. First, the very first thing that the contractor is doing is replacing the water main, so that kind of signals to our neighbors that something else is coming. What we do is we hand out printed materials so that folks know that the lead service line replacement is coming. According to the law, we have to make 3 attempts to contact the individuals that are getting new water services. Unfortunately, what we have found is that after all the attempts have been made, there's been customers that are non-responsive. Uh, our contractor has to move on to another part of the city at that point, and that's where sometimes a $10,000 expense is incurred by a customer after we have left for more than a year or after our contractor is on another part of the project. So they have to, so in long story short, at that point, we have to turn it back over to that individual to replace their own lead water service to copper.
And so it's not like someone's ticketing anyone, no one's getting penalized. It's just that would be the approximate cost to do this yourself, whereas this program is covering it for the resident.
That is correct. Correct. And if you work through us, all the permits and everything are taken care of. If you have to do it yourself, you have to get permits and everything and do restoration yourself. So that's where the $10,000 cost comes in.
Great, thank you. Thank you for the service line replacement program. How do you determine the order in which houses are served? There's a couple multi-question here. So what's the order? How does the rate of replacement in Highland Park compared to other cities? And how is this program funded? And is there additional funding that would maybe speed up the number of replacements or the rate of replacements? So
I I will uh I will answer the first part, then I'll turn the other parts over to other people on the panel, okay?
okay.
All right. So our contractor is working along with us in scheduling these lead service replacements. And like I said, we've been doing a great job. Our customer service staff is making phone calls. Our contractor is knocking doors. And so what we try to do is to do them all in a row, if possible. That's not possible 100% because we understand that we miss people and we have to do multiple attempts. So then we come back around and do houses again. So our goal is to do them all in a row, but sometimes we can't. So that is the order in which we go if we can completely in a row.
Thanks, Ken. I'll take a shot at the remainder of that question. So I think the requirement is for 5% of the service lines to be replaced annually. Where Highland Park has fallen in the past is a little bit below average on that. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, just since 2018, we had replaced a little around 110. For our system size, 5% would be 175. And so now, if you just look at the average over the years, it looks slightly under, but there have been years where we have exceeded that in that particular year. So, and the lack of us being able to maybe hit that average has been mainly because of funding. So after this project is complete, our average is going to almost go up and double. So, I talked about around 218. So 218 would exceed the 5% minimum requirement. And that's partially because the state of Michigan has dedicated, earmarked a significant amount of funds for infrastructure replacement in Highland Park, water main, and service line replacement. So that's kind of where we stand. We are always looking for additional funding to accelerate that time frame. But what people also have to realize is right now, I mean, this summer we had more construction than we've ever had, and we had boil water alerts, we had water main breaks everywhere, we had people complaining about dust, and so it's one of these things where we've been trying to ramp up the level of activity of replacement. One, what the funding would allow, but two, we didn't do very much construction in Highland Park 7 years ago, and now you've got construction happening on every street. So we're doing our best to get them replaced as fast as we can. We also are, trying to do the best job we can at managing the chaos that comes with construction and the coordination of people being everywhere on every street. So, I would love to say we could get it all done in 2 years, but I mean, even if we could and we had a contractor on every street, I think it would drive us all crazy. So I think we're on a pretty good pace. I think we were, under slightly under average, but I think that with this project and moving forward, that we're going to be over average. And like I said, if we're able to get all the water main done, all 60 miles replaced by 2031, which would mean we would have replaced 60 miles of water main, and we started doing that in 2018. So that's pretty good. And the majority of all of that, or at least the last several years, have been state funded, so no additional cost to the customers. That's just been the state that's given grants. The first project, maybe the first two were loans, which was our loans. So those are additional expenses. But the projects in the last several years have been all grant funded.
Thank you. That was helpful. Folks, just for folks dialing in, if you want to raise your hand to ask a question, you can press *9 or use the app if you're there. Joshua, I see your hand and we'll get to you in 1 second. We have a few more from the chat. What size are the replacement lines going into the homes?
Per the law, we put in 1-inch water services to the homes, and that is a standard practice throughout the country. 1 inch. So you will more than likely get a larger service because many of the homes are either 3/4 or 5/8.
Thank you. In the restoration process, the contractors came 5 feet past the sidewalk onto my property and damaged some lighting and some specific plants. I'm concerned it might just be a compensation check for that because how do they get the labor costs for replacing something like that covered?
Well, during the contract, they are responsible for replacing in kind any shrubbery that is damaged. So that more than likely would be replaced. The type of shrub that was damaged will be replaced. Before the project begins, we do a video to make sure that we capture all of the damage that might be there at the properties or in the sidewalk or in the right of way. And so we will have captured that there at your home. So we know what type of shrubbery we need to replace, and we will do so. The 5 foot past your sidewalk, where some lighting was damaged, I'm going to ask that one of the facilitators perhaps get this person's information so that I can look into this and we'll do so.
Sure, yeah. If you can put that in the chat, we can forward that along. Okay. Why would we be responsible for the water line replacement after 1 year? It's not like we can know if it was installed correctly.
So I want to make sure I'm very clear on that. So after 1 year, it's really very basic water construction protocol. The water main and the water services are warranted for 1 year. So now after that 1 year mark, the customer is responsible from their property line up to the house. The city is responsible from the property line back to the water main. And so that is very standard practice that has been practiced for many, many years. So at some point, we do have to turn it back over to the property owner, and that is after the 1 year warranty is over.
Thank you. Please share where the customer service center is. Can we just inform folks about how that customer service process is working?
Yes, they can walk right in at 12050 Woodward Avenue, right at the corner of Woodward and California. We have a parking lot on the California side, and they can come right up to on the first floor. As soon as they walk into the lobby, we are directly to the right, and they can ring the bell, and our fine customer service staff will ask them what they can do for them and process any issues they have.
Great. There's also the phone number that are in the slides, and it's also on the website that we put in the chat, and we'll put that in there again for folks. Since underdeveloped properties are charged a water-ready fee, which would be the lines, and of course a runoff fee, will undeveloped properties have the new lines installed and capped until construction is done?
We have no, and the reason is for because of funding and other common sense reasons. We that property may never get developed. Someone may come and knock down an existing home and build a much larger home. So if a property is not developed or there is no home there, there will be no service placed there.
Got it. If someone does not allow the current contractors to replace the lead line, will they still connect that line to the main, or will they be without water until it's replaced?
Well, they have to. We have to disconnect any lead line. We will not connect any lead services to our new water main. We would be out of compliance. It would be against the law, and so a person is encouraged to please join this program so they can get a new copper service, and so that we will all be in compliance. I would have to turn the water off, and that home would be without water.
What will our water pressure be like after all the lines are installed? The pressure has been very low since this project started.
I'm concerned about that question. Could you please have that person put something in the chat so that I can find out when they experience this low water pressure? To answer the question, though, the water pressure should be much improved. For in my line of work, there's something that's called C factor, and not to get so involved in it, it is actually the roughness of the pipe inside of the pipe. And so with brand new pipes, there will be very little C factor. It'll be a number of about 60, which is non-existent roughness. And so the pressure will be improved.
So Libby, I can expand on
Okay,
Ken.
thank you.
So we have had a number of fluctuations in the pressure over, especially this year in the spring. We were disconnecting emergency connections. We had the master meter project under construction, and so pressures were kind of all over the place. The master meter project was complete. Two of the three meters were complete in July. The last one was completed about a month ago or mid-October. And what we're seeing now that we have a master meter, those pressures are much more sustained than they ever have been in the city, probably up I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 to 10 psi in the system as a whole. That does not mean there are not streets that may still experience plush pressure fluctuations, and that could be due to a number of reasons. We're still isolating mains to construct new mains, um, closing valves to do different things. So those pressures are fluctuating and varying, but overall, I can say since being here since 2016 as the water director, they're as good as they have been. And part of it is what Ken talked about is the new C factors. It's not perfect, right? But it's if you looked at the history and the trajectory, we are much better off than we were several years ago.
Thank you. What is the project that's happening right now? The step, I think this is when we were talking about the steps of the process. The step related to someone knocking on the door and sharing information did not happen.
Um, well, uh, I'm going to say that we have complied with all of the with the state and federal directives. If that person did not get uh, have contact made, please reach out to us either at that number or you can leave your information in the chat so that we can find out what may have been the problem.
Great.
Can you also put up the schedule, the map that has a schedule on it, just to review the project that's going on right now?
Yeah, that might be helpful.
Yeah, this one. So the section that's west of Woodward Avenue is ongoing right now with lead service line replacements. And to the east of Woodward, there's been water main replacements already, but no lead service line replacements yet. So if you're on the east side of Woodward, you wouldn't have had a door knock yet, but you should have received information at your door about this meeting and about the water main replacement happening.
All right, once you contact the homeowner to replace the line, how much time do they have to reply if they're not home?
We give a I I'm not going to say that a definite number. We have actually given at least a month lead time for those who have not responded. At least a month. Elin or Damon might want to chime in on this. We are responsible for the 45-day notice, so 45 days before the first excavation for the very first lead service replacement is done, we have to notify the entire area. So they get at least 45 days and then several weeks after that to comply.
Okay. Um, let's see. Right now, 1 inch connections cost more than a 5/8 or a 3/4 inch. Will everyone with a 5/8 or a 3/4 inch get an increase in their bill once they have the 1 inch connection?
So I know Ken would not like to touch that question, so I will touch this one. So this has been an ongoing question that's been out there for a while. So I'll just start by saying in the past it was a straight yes was the answer. Yes, it would be an increased size meter and it would be an additional ready to serve charge. So I know people have been not very excited about that. Now, that was prior to all the things that have been happening currently. And so that was prior to having master meters constructed, right? And why that's important is because right now we are in the process of trying to renegotiate our contract with our water service provider, which is GLWA. So the short of that is we have master meters in the ground, we have a more accurate reading of water, so the charges to the city should go down. Okay. So what that means is as you start to look at those charges and those ready to serve charges and this and the charges as a whole, we should be able to provide some relief moving forward. So really where I sit right now, I would probably answer that question is probably not. The other thing that we got to take into account is the number of aggregate lead service lines being replaced along with the water main. So the ready to serve charges, we're replacing 10 miles a year, 14 miles a year. So that as the new water main is constructed, the in theory the expense with the ready to serve should be going down because you have newer water main in the ground. So the old answer was yes, it's going up. The new answer is we are trying to work through these things, and I'm hoping that by the time that we need to do rate setting in the next several months, that we will be able to not increase those that ready to serve charge for the 1 inch installation. So it's good news, but in the past it was, yeah, it's going up. And, we've spoken to a number of people, our customer service specialists have talked to people about it, and they probably get calls on that all the time. Probably at least several handful a day. But, you got to give us time. We were in this legal battle for 10 years. Now we're in this battle of, now that we have more factual information, we need our bill to look different. So we're kind of going through that process now, both on the water and sewer side. So when we get through that, obviously those savings would be shared with the residents.
Great, thank you. So once we put up the map, there was a question of what's happening on the east side. Is there any lead service lines happening right now? Beresford to Connecticut, is that maybe not the same project?
That is actually the same project, but
Okay.
there are not right now any lead service line replacements being done from Beresford to Connecticut. Right now, our crews are concentrating on replacing water mains, and then that's when after that is completed, then the new copper services will be installed. All these properties have gotten 45-day notices, though. So there has been a lot of painstaking processes taking place to make sure every home got a 45-day notice, so that the neighbors know that we are coming to replace their water services.
And I know I said we were going to save the phone calls to last, but Joshua has been very patient. So let's go to take Joshua's call. If you want to unmute Josh and go ahead and ask. Thanks.
Yeah, so I have pardon me for my raspy voice, but so I've got a few questions. So in terms of notification, documentation to a customer, 3 times 3 attempts. So the people who are attempting to notify us, so like for instance, this Zoom call has a plastic bag with a door handle spot on it, but it was thrown in my yard instead of on my door. Are the people who are notifying us or supposed to be being documented that they came to each property?
Yes, sir. We are taking pictures of door hangers
Mhm.
on doors.
Okay.
So what I'd like you to do, Joshua, is leave your address and your phone number so that we can make sure that we did document.
Yeah. Well, but for privacy's sake, I'd rather not put that in a chat with a bunch of people. I am a Highland Park resident, but
That's no problem.
so for the next one, so like right now, I live on the corner. Well, I live on the corner right there at 94 Rhode Island on John R. All like this giant hole that's been in front of my property since May. That now we're about to hit freezing territory with snow this Sunday. Are they going to fill that with cement or in kind that's not going to set properly, that's going to have to be redug up in the spring?
So Joshua, any restoration that needs to be done during temperatures that are not favorable will
Mhm.
be called temporary
Right.
restoration,
Right.
right? So we would not put down concrete that should harden or asphalt that should be tested during these unfavorable temperatures. So the answer to your question, though, is that we will fill any holes that are unsafe to the motoring or pedestrian public.
So and along that too, so like on my property, like vegetation wise, plant wise, like I don't just have like mums that are bought from the store. So the person who took the video of the property that you had mentioned, who is the professional that's going to be able to identify each plant to do a replace with in kind vegetation?
That's a great question. I don't think that we have any horticulturists that are taking the pictures. So
Right.
what we would do is share that video with several people and do our very best to replace what you had there in kind. So I'm assuming you would be part of that process.
Thank you. And then lastly here, so all the documents on the website, I noticed were all published on September the 3rd. And, like granted, notification was supposed to be mentioned, but, here we are like months later after this has started. But on the document page, one of them says final notice, and it says by June the 18th, if you don't respond, you're responsible for $10,000, but it does not state the year of June 18th. So is that June 18th of 2025? Or is that an open-ended June 18th because some of us haven't been notified?
Elin, do you
I'm
want
not.
to,
Oh,
yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Libby. I mean,
No, I was just going to
Elin.
say, Elin, if you want to speak to that one really quick.
Yeah, I'll explain that. So we have drafts of these documents to let residents know the types of information that they should be receiving. But the ones that are up there right now aren't edited for the specific construction date. So that is an error. We will take that down. We'll correct that. That June 18th was not a real date. So that's that.
There
So
were
it's not real.
placeholder dates on those documents that are supposed to be updated with each project and street. So like when it would be delivered to your house, you'd have one with an appropriate date. That's just the version that got saved online, unfortunately.
Uh,
So sorry. Yeah.
That's why I need the clarification. And
Yeah.
lastly, so on Halloween on Friday around 2300 to 11 p.m. So I guess my neighbor's water wasn't on. So someone from the water department was asking to come on my property to help them out. So I'm wondering if that's more so like the DTE Rochester Hills scam that's going on, or if someone from the water department would be available and or contacting me at 11 p.m. on a Friday night.
So, Josh, that could happen. That could happen. We have a 24-hour group that responds to emergencies. So, if your neighbor was having a water emergency, perhaps no water or something like that, yes, we have a group that responds 24/7 to emergencies. So that is a possibility, yes, sir. But they should have a badge. They should have a badge.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And that's all the questions I have. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joshua. Thanks for your patience on that.
Thank you.
We had another raised hand on the phone, 313-231-2249. If you still have a question, you can come off mute and ask.
Or can we unmute that line?
I'm looking for it in this long list here. Let me see. I don't see it. I'll move on to asking another question that was in the chat, and then we can try to come back to that one. So let's see. I've not had many questions about why the lead and water mains need to be replaced, but the historical and educational content was helpful and appreciated. My question is about how the schedule for these activities, I think, is working. The current on the ground day-to-day process is not transparent enough. Knowing when the service teams are coming, there's large equipment and porta potties in front of homes, and they're placed not very strategically. When should we move cars and when not to? There's just like a lot of things going on. Gas smells, dug up driveways, all these important logistics the citizens need to be aware of.
So we do our very best to be as transparent as possible. I have a direct line to the mayor's office where I email almost daily what the activities will be, what streets will have water interruptions because of what we call tie-ins. That is connecting the new main to the water source, and so there are glitches, I'm sure, where there are parked cars that have to be moved and someone may have to knock on the door or whatnot. But we do our very best to be transparent. If there has been reoccurring issues, please feel free to contact the water department the customer service team, and I, as the manager, will address these as much as best as possible.
Thank you. Thanks for raising your hand again on the phone. 2249, you can go ahead and ask your question. I see you went off mute, but we can't hear. All right. Maybe try to do the chat, or if you can come off mute, we still can't hear anything. I'm going to move on to the next one. Is there a strategic reason why the water main digging started at the beginning of winter?
I'm not familiar with the process prior to my coming on board with which is July 1st. I'm going to defer that that to Dana.
Okay, so we have been constructing water main. We typically, so there are deadlines and funding requirements that require us to construct water main in what I call non-optimum times, which would be winter time. But if it is a lighter winter, we have been able to continue to construct during the winter with restoration starting in the spring. So the question earlier was, can we accelerate timelines of construction? And then, and now we have questions about why are we doing it in the winter? If we didn't do, if we didn't have seasonal limitations on the winter, it would take us a substantially longer time to replace the water main. Now, granted, it's water main, so water main has to be tested. It has to be pressure tested. Hydrants have to be flushed. So we do have to take all those things into account when constructing water main in colder temperatures. So, I mean, we wouldn't normally go hardcore on construction starting in the winter. Winter technically we still have some time. I know we're starting to get winter-like conditions, but we still haven't hit the winter yet. So, obviously we'd want to do it in the spring, summer, and fall, but we also want to minimize the impact to the residents as soon as possible and take advantage of the funding that we have.
Thank you. 2249, why don't you try again?
Can you hear me?
We can. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, finally.
Mhm.
Okay. I live on Rhode Island. I'm a senior. I own my home, but I am disabled. And so I'm asking what arrangements have been made to service the disabled on these various requirements. In other words, if an appointment is being made, then I obviously, because I am wheelchair bound, am not necessarily able to get to the door before somebody leaves. And I certainly need to have explanation of a number of things when you're saying that as the occupant, I need to turn off certain parts of the water system. And for instance, and in my basement, I have had weatherization. And so because some construction will be going on there, I need to be able to speak to someone about that and get a complete understanding, and be able to schedule to have someone here to do the things that need to be done by the property owner. And so that is my question. What is being done, or what arrangements have been made to interact with the disabled? And the other thing is, I already have a 1-inch line. I've always had it. It's probably lead, but if it's going to be replaced, that's fine. But these are the kinds of questions and discussion that I need to have with a representative from from this project.
Yes, ma'am, and thank you for your question. We will do everything in our power to make sure that we service you and that we get you a new water service, even if you are disabled. So this is what I'm going to ask that you do. Please call our customer service line. You live on Rhode Island, so the project will move toward your street at a later time. But in the
Yes.
meantime, we will make sure that the resources are made available so that we can service you and get your line replaced and get your line flushed properly, and do a good job for you. So please call our customer service line. That will probably be forwarded to me.
All right. Thank you very much. And your name again, please?
My name is Kenneth Miller.
All right, Mr. Miller. Thank you very much. My name is Margaret Lewis.
Thank you, Miss Lewis. We'll make sure we take care of you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for asking the question. Thanks. We have someone that is on Massachusetts and has not received the 45-day notice. Can we speak to that?
Yes, we can speak to that. Massachusetts was one of the streets that, well, all streets got a 45-day notice. Perhaps the 45-day notice blew off of the door. That I have been getting some issues that where that has been happening. If that person calls our customer service line, I will address that as well. I'll make sure that they get all of the information that is needed, and we will do what we need to do to make sure they get a copper service line.
Thank you. All right, let's see. Is there anything else? I don't see any other questions. If I missed anything, oh wait. Who do I need to contact for dated for the field representative putting notice on the doors? I'm gonna put a link in the chat right now that is the form where everyone can put their contact info without it being public and on this chat. If you fill out this form here, this should take you there. I hope that was the right link. And it's also asking if you'd like to join any more listening sessions. If water mains are replaced on the street and resurfacing is being done, your items definitely would be looked into. Oh, thank you, Damon. Sorry, that was you. All right. Anything else? Ken, I have folks asking for your email.
Certainly, they can have my email. K Miller, K as in Kenneth, K Miller, Miller, at Metro, metroca.net. K Miller at metroca.net.
I just put that in the chat for folks as well. Oh yeah, a couple of us did.
Okay.
Let's see. Who should a person call if they need a metal plate over their driveway that has been dug up?
You should give us a call. Just go ahead and give us a call in customer service.
That customer service line.
Yep.
Hi, Michelle. Do you have a question?
303-865-1876.
Hi.
Go ahead.
I have a couple questions. First of all, you mentioned the 1-inch line that's coming into the house that may change the pricing for the new water that we're going to be getting. Mine has already been done. I'm on Tennyson. But my question is this, because my rate did go down, even though the pipe is larger. I want to know, is any of these funding going to be retroactive? Because we've been paying bills that are over $100 for years now, since we have not had our own water plant. So now what is going to happen that we got this new stuff in and my bill dropped to under, it's like 89 now. It's like all those years we've been paying $20 extra a month, is anything going to be done for us to recoup those monies? Because we weren't using that water, and as much as we complained, no one ever addressed that.
So no, unfortunately not. I don't know how much you know about this lawsuit that we were in since, I don't know, 2014. And so there are several things that were going on over that 10, 11-year period that impacted what you said. So I can't, there's not any retroactive or refund available that I know of. And, what we're doing, trying to work through right now is still address that in what we're calling a credit, and with GLWA, because we can now accurately, because rates were set. There was all kinds of things that were going on based on these estimates that they perceived our water use to be. So now that we have accurate readings by the minute of what our water use is, we'll be able to address it in the present, but we will not, unfortunately, be able to do anything about the past.
Okay, that does, and see, and that's where I have a real issue, because Gleewood is charging us, you guys are charging us, and no one is saying to the customer that we're going to refund any of this. You're saying for all of these vacant properties, because there are several on my block, that if someone decides to buy those properties, that they're going to have to spend at least $10,000 to have a hookup. So you're basically saying to anyone, come into Highland Park, buy a vacant lot, and add on 10 grand to whatever it is that you want to put on there if it happens to be a property. And I don't mean to be, the devil's advocate, but I am, because I think that this is wrong, and that these houses had lines that went there. If nothing else, you should have been able to set up a line so that it would be capped and the person could connect without costing them that much money. I'll let that go. My other question is regarding the the timeline, because I went to a couple of meetings with the Eland, and a lot of the notifications were not provided to residents on this block. Um, so I hope that that can be improved for those people who are getting new services. I don't have any problem with the service outside of the fact that I had someone come in to do the inspection. I told them while the process was going on that I had a leak that was coming into my house. They came, they put some extra stuff in on the wall portion of it. It's still leaking. When the gentleman, first name is Doug, I don't have his card right in front of me now, but he came in and said that he would address that. No one has contacted me since. So I still have a leak that's coming into my basement. It's not as bad as it was originally, but it's still there. So can someone contact me about that? Um, my last point is they replaced our grass and they covered it, and the grass seeds appear to be growing in some spots where the netting has come off, but it is like peach fuzz. First of all, the grass is, the seeds that they put down, it's like you're putting them down in the winter. I mean, basically fall, winter. And the potential for them to grow and survive, I think, is going to be slim to none. So are they going to do anything about that next year if we don't have grass on our properties?
Thank you for the question, Michelle. I'm familiar with Doug, so let me answer the first part of the first question that you asked about the leak on your property. What street do you live on?
I live on Tennyson between Woodward and John R.
All right, we will have that contractor return to make sure that they take care of that leak. What I need you to do, Michelle, is to call our customer service line, and I'm hoping that you have that number. We have it available in the chat, so we can get that taken care of. Is the water getting away? It is not damaging anything, correct?
I don't know. I
Okay.
just know
All right.
that
We'll
water is
we'll
on
make
the
sure
corner.
we'll make sure we'll handle the leak. All right.
Okay.
As far as the grass is concerned, we leave we do our very best to Michelle froze up. I don't know if she's still able to hear me.
I'm
Okay.
here. I can hear you
All right.
fine.
All right. As far as the grass is concerned, we do what is called seeding and mulching, and we're asking our neighbors to partner with us and to water that during the summer months. We will not We will not place seeds that will not grow during the winter months. So there is a cutoff date for the seeds that are put down. So it will not be put down during the winter or even the late fall. There's a cutoff date.
Okay, what is the cutoff date? Since you're saying you didn't put them down, and we just had this stuff done within the past month.
Yeah, October 15th is the cutoff date.
Okay, so if it was put down before October the 15th and it doesn't grow, then who do we contact you again as well? Is that correct?
But you can give me a call. We'll talk about it.
Okay. The other thing that I wanted to address is signage needs to be improved significantly because, you know, to wake up in the morning to have a truck blocking your driveway, you know, because they're going to do work on it and you not have no any clue that this is what's going to happen is, I think, unconscionable. You know, you have to wait in order to go somewhere because you got to get a guy to move a truck that they parked and just left, but it's in front of your driveway. So
Yes, ma'am.
I'm done.
We can improve that process. Yes, ma'am. And I know the contract that it works on Tennyson, and I will address that
I mean, I've
piece right
talked to
there.
him as well, but I mean, now that it's over, but I'm saying for future reference, if you guys need some pointers about, you know, kind of give people an opportunity to get out of their driveways and notify them that you're going to be working on XYZ date. The other thing is you said that there are going to be other meetings because some of the residents that I notified were not able to connect via the information or the barcode that was provided. So when are those meetings supposed to be scheduled? And will they still just notify those people to inform? Like I was a former block club president, so I notified everybody that I had contact with on my block. You know, but will there be some sort of notification that goes out to all of the citizens who are being affected by this? Because I don't think that it's the responsibility of a block club president unless they are active to be, you know, given this task, even though it's like, okay, I have most of the members on this block between Woodward and John R. I had information for them so that I could contact them. But, you know, this is something that really should be, you know, publicized more for the residents to participate in.
I understand. I will defer to others to talk about the future meetings. It was communicated on the beginning of this meeting that there will be future meetings, and I'll defer to others to give you some detail about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we haven't scheduled those yet. We're kind of working with the contractor to figure out their schedule to make sure that we're syncing with their schedule moving forward so that we're, you know, addressing the neighborhoods where they're going to be working. So those dates are not yet announced. We delivered invitations to each of the homes on the current project for this meeting. Try to push out to social media and share through the mayor's email list. We will do that again for the next meeting. If you have suggestions of places where we've missed that we need to get it out to, we would love to hear from you. So please let us know where we should be sharing that we haven't gotten already.
I don't know if you put a notice on the City Hall Water Department because that would have been one of the starting places. I was there last week and I didn't see anything regarding this meeting.
Okay, good point. We'll make sure we get that.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
I had a hand raise from 313-308-355. Sorry, I missed a number in there. If you want to go off mute, or I can try to unmute you and go ahead with your question. Go ahead.
Yes, my question, I came in late. I wanted to know, is there a fee that we were supposed to pay so we wouldn't have the $10,000 bill for hooking up that lead line from the street to the house?
Thank you for your question. And I would like to say to you that we will be replacing your lead service with a new copper service for free, and doing all the restoration and taking care of all the permits. If you fall within our program area, do you mind me asking you what street you live on and what are the boundaries?
Connecticut between Brush and Oakland.
This will be 100% free. Please follow through with the customer service or with the contractor that knocks your door.
Thank you.
William McKinney, I see your hand. If you want to unmute and go ahead.
Sorry about that. My question was, my car had dropped earlier, and I was wondering if that included. I know unimproved properties, but what about properties with vacant? The house is vacant, but livable. My mother's house is on Connecticut also, and that's a property I don't have anybody in, but I don't. I'd like to have the lead line changed.
Thank you for your question, Mr. McKinney. We are replacing the lead water services on Connecticut free of charge. So yes, you would fall within this program as long as your account is still active. We will do the replacement.
I don't have. That's what I'm saying. I had the water turned off a few years ago because I didn't feel I should pay $75 a month just for no service.
Understood. But the account is still active. You just have the water turned off. Please
Okay.
respond. Yes, please respond to our to us reaching out to you, and we're going to replace that water service.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And I had one more thing in the chat that I didn't ask. If you own multiple properties on different streets, how does the 45-day notification work? I've only received notice on a property that I live in, but not the others. A tenant is not going to know what's going on.
Well,
Go ahead.
we have issued 45-day notices to everyone in the project. So if and that is at every residence. So what I would do if I were you is please contact customer service first of all to make sure that your tenant knows that if they fall in the project area, we will be replacing the water service. And because you received the notice, then we are hoping that you also respond so that we can replace yours. I am hopeful that the tenant is in our project area because there have been areas that we have left. And so that area would possibly would have to be replaced at the owner's cost. I don't have any information on where the tenant may live.
They're saying yes, they're in the project area.
Okay, we will reach out to more than likely we have the owner's information. So during the call, we would contact the owner about both properties.
All right, I see your hand from phone number 2249. If you want to unmute and go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to ask a question regarding mail that I have been receiving from 2 or 3 companies saying that they offer a like an insurance for the line coming to the house, and asking for like $14 a month to insure the any work that has to be done on the line. And my question is, number one, if these are just scams, and number two, if we want to have insurance on the line, should we wait until after the 1-year warranty has expired?
So to answer your very first question, Metro Consulting Associates is not sponsoring any insurance or insurance company for the replacement of these lines or to insure these lines. If you choose to get insurance, it would wholly be up to you. I will also just say this based on experience. I've been doing this for some time. Very, very, very few brand new services leak. So take that into consideration.
Thank you very much.
All right. Anything else? If I missed anything, if you'd like to put it back in the chat, go ahead. Or raise your hand.
And I have some final poll questions. I can put those up right now.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and put those up?
Okay, so 2 questions here. How well informed do you feel about what to expect during your lead service line replacement, and what type of format would be best for future community meetings?
We also have the question, does the city of Highland Park get paid, like make a commission when residents sign up? I think that's about the home serve insurance. But you're saying no, Highland Park is not connected to them in any way. Okay.
Metro Consulting Associates is not endorsing anyone's insurance.
Thank you.
And another note on that, if you are interested in service line insurance, you can also contact your current home insurance and ask for what it would cost to add a rider for your service line, because sometimes that is available and less expensive.
Can you repeat that, Elin?
So if you are interested in service line insurance, you might be able to contact your current home insurance provider and get an extra rider instead of going to the separate company for that insurance policy. So I do that at my house, and it costs less than that home serve insurance policy. So I'm gonna end that poll and share the results. So we've got a mix here that it seems like people have learned something here, but we're going to keep working on doing better, informing the community about the program, and we've got a mix of in-person and online for future meetings. But we will definitely be having at least one in-person meeting and possibly more online. So if you have more questions about the lead service line replacement program, call the customer service center. So that number is up here again. Our lead service line replacement website is also here. And there's that Google form that was in the chat. Maybe we can drop it. Yeah, right. One more time in the chat. We are going to be having some more listening sessions in the future with small groups in person. If you think you might be interested in participating in that, you let us know through that form. Just fill that out and we'll contact you about scheduling those future meetings.
Joshua's hand went right up at the end. Did you have something to add, Joshua?
Yeah, I just have a question. So in regards to the home serve that, like we're getting letters from this company, like insure your house, Highland Park XYZ, get a discount when you sign up for 6 months. But then part of me had to not slaughter your last name. So I'll just say Miss Aaron, and you're like, that's what I do through my home insurance is I add the service line thing. Like, why isn't that being communicated to us? Like, hey, there's this thing that you could do possibly through your own home insurance, but if not, then you could be like sign up for this. Like, why is it being sent to us and making us feel like we're receiving scam mail.
Is it spam mail? Or is it just like marketing mail from an insurance company?
It's marketing mail from an
Yeah.
insurance company. So like MCA, Damon, correct me if I'm wrong, there's not, you can't stop them from advertising their product, I think.
That's all right. So, I mean, I'm sure that, those whom live in Highland Park, if anybody does who works for anybody on this in the administration of this call, you would understand that that's happening. But, like it's genuine inquiries. So we would have not known that we could have contacted our homeowners insurance to even ask to add a line replacement because nothing is being communicated. None of those documents are on the website until it's September the 3rd. Nothing is like, there's none. So how would we know? And like as other people have inquired about is like it's like we're being robbed for real. Like it's like you want that $10,000 to pay for the Gliwa lawsuit going on, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you.
Yeah, I can feel the frustration. Yeah, just clarifying that that's marketing mail. The insurance thing is not a necessary thing that anyone would need. It would be for your own peace of mind and, a total optional thing. But maybe it's fair to put on the FAQ. We can add things to the FAQ to be like, we are in no way affiliated with HomeServe. That would be helpful to add to the FAQ, and we can add that to the documentation. Um, William McKinney, do you have final thoughts as well?
No disrespect to interrupt, but like Janice asked a great question. Like, why is it on Highland Park letterhead if it's marketing mail, home search, insurance?
Good question. I don't know if anyone can speak to that.
So this so HomeServe is there are people in the city who are insured by HomeServe. They have come to council meetings and presented what they're going to do. So it's not truly just like, hey, I went to the mailbox and it's just random. Okay. So there are options. If you want to insure your sewer lateral, if you want to insure your copper service line, your lead service line, or your new copper service line, they are a legitimate company. They do this. They do this across the country. You can sign up for them. You can say, don't mail me anymore. I want to do it through my own homeowner's insurance. So there are options to you. And you're right. No, we did not or have not communicated to residents that they can do it through their own homeowners insurance. So, well noted there, but it's not this out of the blue company that's showing up, sending scam mail. So I just want to clarify that it is a legitimate program. People do sign up, but you have to weigh your options. Is it cheaper to do that, or is it cheaper to do your homeowner insurance? I don't know what your personal situation is.
Well, listen, I understand that, but it still doesn't answer the question. Why is Highland Park letterhead on it? And I actually contacted the president of city council who live across the street from me to ask, yo, what is this? And why am I getting this? So please answer that question. Why is Highland Park letterhead on the initial documentation from HomeServe?
The answer that I have for you is that it may have been supported by it's first of all it shouldn't technically probably shouldn't be on Highland Park letterhead because Highland Park does not offer the insurance program. Okay, so that's number one. I don't really know why it's on the letterhead, but Highland Park is not offering that insurance. I think it has something to do with they came in and the water department is supporting that as a way for people to get their service lines and not have to bear the cost. I mean, I think the spirit of that is where it's at. So that's my answer to the question. We're not Highland Park Water Department is not an insurance company, so we can't offer insurance programs.
Juan is maybe this is helpful what Juan's saying in the chat that the city of Highland Park authorized the usage of the info and usage of the Highland Park logo years ago under a former administration. I can't speak to that or if that's true, but Juan is very well connected and longtime resident. How long is the information in the chat available after the Zoom meeting is over? There are multiple links, emails, and info that people may want. This link with the bit.ly link that I'll put in here again. That's the way, if you put your info there, we'll give you the slides and all the links for your reference.
And we'll also post it on the lead service line replacement website.
Yeah, everything will be there as well, which I can put in again here as well to bring that back to the bottom. All right, anything else before we end it for the night?
2249 has their hand raised.
2249, you want to add anything else? Go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to support the young man's statement. I think it was Mr. McKinney, that some of this marketing insurance lettering has been on the Highland Park letterhead.
Mm-hmm.
So, since it is not from Highland Park, I do think that the program ought to take it to council and make sure that this marketing is not on Highland Park letterhead, making us Highland Parkers think it is coming from the city.
I agree. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, I dropped those last two links, the website where you can download all the information, the FAQ, which will update after this meeting to add any of these questions. We can add those there. Fill out the form if you want to ask any other questions or get any slides sent to you. You can also sign up for any listening sessions. We'll do some smaller group listening sessions in the future. And that's also a way just to add your email to the list and make sure you get notified for future meetings. When is the next meeting? We don't have one scheduled just yet. There is the town hall on November 20th, which will just be a general town hall. But that would be the next time that you could be in person. Otherwise,
I'm sorry, Ms.
customer
Cole.
service number. Yeah, go ahead.
Ms. Cole, I have one last question. So,
Please.
just like with the June the 18th, the placement date that you have on the final notice documentation currently, when is that going to be changed?
Good question. Elin,
When
can you
is that-
speak to that?
Can we on this call and Highland Parkers have the dates changed and like insert here be placed where a placeholder date is instead of an actual date, so we're not confused?
Totally. Yes.
Yep. Yep, those were templates, and we'll work on getting the project-specific documents on the website
Yeah, well, I
within
mean,
the next week.
I feel like work on is still too long. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you right now guarantee me that by next Friday it's going to be changed?
That's what I just said, next week.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, fill out those forms if you want to be in touch. That customer service line is the way to ask any questions in the meantime. And then November 20th is the town hall.